Hello everyone. You might be wondering why there is a stack of Barbies in front of me. Simple answer is I've made all the clothes and I just kind of want to share them with you all because I've kind of become obsessed with making Barbie clothes. It's a recent obsession, but it's definitely kind of become it has become an obsession, a recent one, but it has become one nonetheless. Words suck. Anyways, my name's Max, and if you happen to want to continue to watch, just so you know, I'm socially awkward and I will not apologize for the awkwardness that you will experience henceforward. So let's start. So this is going to be the Barbie clothes that I've made for the month of August. Even though it's already like halfway through September. What the fuck? We'll go with it. Okay. So for the first week of August, understand that my idea for making these Barbie clothes is I want to use them to take photos of to use for a comic book. So I can actually make a comic book without having to draw everything because my doodling is poor. Anyways, so of course, when coming up with that idea, you gotta have some cool villains. And I'm not going to show you the main one because that would be spoilers if I actually do finish it. But I will show you the rest of the gang. Okay? So, unfortunately, first one is actually, no. Actually, I don't remember which one I made them first. I know these were first and second. So, this is one lovely lady. Wait, where am I going? Where am I going? Here. She's actually the first Barbie that I bought as an adult. So essentially because the story itself is set in kind of a dystopian worldview, I wanted the clothes to be a little bit ragged, a little bit kind of thrown together. Everyone's kind of made their own thing. Yeah. So that's why like these are pulled. These I don't really know. I just kind of like them. They make no sense with everyone else. They do make sense with the main one. And of course, I think she just looks adorable with a little bow. So that's how she came to be. I didn't make any of these with a pattern. So some of them are a little janky, by the way. I did use like navy blue thread because I had no black at the time. And yeah. And her shoes are white, which means absolutely nothing. It's kind of, I don't have any black shoes. Otherwise, she would be wearing black as well. For some reason, our society identifies the color black as being evil. So, of course, with these guys being the villains, that's what I'm going to go for. And I just like the fact that I put her outfit snapping at the front. Because it's a little bit easier to put on and off. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to go over. So this was made out of like a fat square cotton and ribbon. That's it. This gent was attempt number 2. I had actually not made any really successful men's shirts. But I do like the fact that it kind of came as like a boat neck for him. And I do like the fact that the shirt bottom itself is not straight. His is stitched together with gray thread because I did not have also any black thread at the same time. And I put all of his little things on there. Now his pants are a whole nother story. Again, I was making it without a pattern, and these were some of the first creations I was making. So when I was making his pants, they only actually went up to here. Let's see. Yeah, so I had to sew an entire, like, another stretch of fabric in order to actually cover his booty. But again, I think it still fits, even though they keep falling down. I think it still fits because it's supposed to be kind of a dystopian future. And you gotta work with what you got. So it kind of works. He's wearing black and white chucks. And I do like the fact his ankle kind of shows off a wee bit. Anyways, this is a weird thing. But yeah. I was very proud of this shirt when I first made it, and now I'm far prouder of other shirts. Okay. The next one I made was this lovely lady's. Now, the outfits I'm showing you, I did make them with the intention of these particular dolls wearing them, by the way. So hers is a jumpsuit, so her top and bottom are completely attached. I made hers, again, with that same black cotton and navy blue thread. I think I chose not to put sleeves just because I didn't want to deal with them. And I rolled hers up a bit. I like the fact that they are uneven. At this point, I wasn't entirely sure what to do with these ribbons anymore. I still just wanted them to be a part of the outfit itself because it unifies them. I'll show you them all together in a second. And then the last villain outfit I made was this dude, which I absolutely love him because I love his hair, mostly. And he's still wearing a necklace. Anyways, so this is his. He is wearing a dress, or a shirt dress, mostly because I kind of wanted him to. And that's kind of it. He is wearing the same shoes that he came with, and I actually think that works really well. And I think I personally would not change that. So yeah. One thing I did like about making this one is the fact that I didn't, let's see if we can show you, the fact that, oh, look at all that pink fuzz, that I didn't sew these together at the very end. And I'm really proud of this stitching, by the way. So his is all stitched together with black thread because when I ordered him, I also ordered black thread at the same time, obviously. I say obviously as if it was obvious. It may have not been obvious. Anyways, so he gets his own little ribbons as well. And when you kind of put them all next to each other with the solid black and the ribbons, very much, let's gooch over, they very much look uniformed, but also not the same exact outfit, which was the purpose. Purpose was for them to look like a uniform, like a cohesive group of people, but still individual. Like, oh, you joined the group, you have to make your own clothes because you have no resources, kind of thing. Anyways, so that was week 1. Let's flip over to week 2 to see what we made in week 2. So week 2, actually, I didn't make any Barbie clothes. I made a doll room, this fluffy carpet that I'm very proud of, and that's also, wait, where am I going? That's also that fluffy carpet. And I made a backpack with a cat. Wait, where? There we go. I can show you the backpack with the cat. Let's take these lovely people away. This is the backpack I made. So I had this little patch, and basically what I did is I cut it out of cardstock. I had 2 main rectangles and then a long rectangle that you can see is adhered there. I covered it in fabric and then I glued it together. I didn't glue this part together because obviously you wouldn't be able to, oh, there we go, you wouldn't be able to put anything in it if I did. See, the inside's not lined. One thing I did learn with this is use E6000 when gluing fabric, not hot glue, because it just came right apart with hot glue. Whereas E6000, I am literally like, and it's not, I mean, if I tugged hard enough, I could probably rip it apart, but I don't want to do that. Anyways, so yeah. The next week, I actually didn't make much of anything at all. I was having a bad week, so yeah, at first I didn't make anything, but I did make this lovely dress for this lovely like gal. Actually, I really like her. To me, she's kind of like my pastel queen, which is why she's rocking the same some of the original jewelry that she came with. And of course, I wanted to make her dress, because her hair is split in two, I wanted to make her outfit to be split in two as well. Essentially, I made one Barbie who had a dress that very much made me think, oh my god, you could like totally wear this if you were going to like the Met Gala or something. And basically since then I'm like, I have to make all the dolls everywhere have dresses that they could be wearing to the Met Gala. And that's what came with this. It was supposed to be I say supposed to be, it still actually fits. Okay, so the plan with this, and I made a pattern first, and once I cut that apart, that's what I cut this fabric out of. So these again are just solid 100% cotton from Fat Squares, and then you have matching tulle underneath it, so pink and purple, and I wanted it to come down to a point, kind of remind me of like Harley Quinn because of her color distinctions, but also I wanted it to show off the tulle a little bit underneath, and I was kind of worried about that because it was like there's so much fabric that I had that covered the tulle. Anyways, so sweetheart neckline, it's supposed to be a mermaid cutout, and I say supposed to because I had it intentionally to be a little bit tighter around the waist and the knees. But in order to, this is what I learned. I learned hands down when making Barbie clothes, don't use 2 layers of fabric. It is so thick. Like this fabric itself, this dress is so thick, I literally am like sitting here sweating thinking about it. But basically, I had nothing to attach the tulle to, and I didn't want like a row of stitches going across the actual dress itself. So I made a inner lining part where I took a ribbon and I sewed all the tulle to the ribbon itself originally, and then I sewed it down to the lining. And that's how, yeah, I literally just cut it in squares and sewed it at a point. Yeah. But, oops, sorry girl, not intentional. So this is where I learned to not make Barbie clothes with double layers, with 2 layers, because her waist definition is not the same as it was before when I originally did the first cut in the pattern, because it was tighter, but then the 2 layers of fabric kind of made it a little bit bulkier. At this point in my crafting is when I got these snaps that I put in. So hers only has 1, and some other people's have 2. So when I did this panel here actually covers up a whole pink panel as well. Let's see. Because this whole pink panel goes all the way down as well. So the back's even more bulkier. But yeah. And she's wearing some like knockoff Toms there. Or Timberlands. Because, again, shoes, I don't know really what to do with them because I don't have a lot, and I don't have a lot that fits curvy girls. Okay. Put you over here. Okay, so, the last full week of August, I made 2 things. The first one was this one. Basically, I was working on like a panel dress. So I actually cut out these panels. They're made out of the same thing. Figured if I just sewed them together, we'd make a pretty skirt. And I kind of did. I like the fact that I didn't sew all the end bits together. It's kind of becoming a thing. And then this particular doll came with this shirt styled like this. I attempted to make it and add it on to the skirt to make it as a dress. It was But I didn't make it quite right because it's a little like too baggy here, but a little too tight here, and it's not quite even. Like, to me, that's where it's at even, but it's just off-centered a little bit. And that's a little unfortunate, but I do think, again, it was still a fairly good, like, first attempt at this kind of thing. I was actually using white thread. Let's see if I can show you. I was actually using white thread, so it kind of blends in fairly good. My stitching at this point is starting to get a little bit better, even though it's still a little bad. Anyways, so I like the attempt. It's not one of the things I am the most proud of, so it's not officially in the notebook of completed projects. Okay. The other thing I made this week, I saw a TikTok. Hold on a second. Let me find my comb, because I always love combing her hair. So basically, I saw this TikTok of this clothing maker, and she was going over how to wear her apron dresses she makes, and that's what inspired this outfit. And she actually makes this kind of dress where it's like two aprons with strings on either side, and you basically sew the top strings around to the back and then the strings on the back panel around to the front. And you make sure they overlap a little. I wish I remembered her TikTok name. There are going to be a lot of fucking ums. So that way I could show it to you, but honestly I completely forgot. And at the time I wasn't really planning to actually make this video, so I'm so sorry. But basically I'm like, this also would be another dress that would be easy to me put on and off. So that's what I did. I like the fact that I used a lot more ribbon than I think would be in her kind of dress, because I think it kind of makes it a lot thicker. This is actually made out of, it's listed as vinyl, but it kind of feels like leathery vinyl. Makes sense, yeah. Anyways, this one I want to actually show you kind of how it goes on and off. So I made, first off, I put a lot of more snaps on here than I actually needed to get it together. So forewarning everyone, possibly naked Barbie. So I made two separate panels that are both shaped and cut like this, because I was like, apron. And this actually has snaps on here because I thought I was gonna have to snap it, but it actually just, I can just pull it straight over her head with it still connected. I did make a snap that connected these two parts of the front together, so that way no matter what, these two would always be pulled back, because if you notice I only have strings attached to the back. So in the original design there would have been straps attached to the front that you would have sewn together in the back, and then these straps you would put here and just sewn together in the front. That's a lot of straps, so I didn't make this one, so I just used a thicker ribbon and snapped it together. And yeah, and so that's how that happened. Always kind of tug it down as much as I can. And then I have two very long ribbons. Twist them together. And switch sides. And then from here, I'll hold one while I'm holding her up here. And I will wrap one around. There we go. Okay, at that point, I've got to switch sides. And pull this around. Yeah. A little bit tighter. I was trying to keep it in frame, so I didn't do it as tight as I normally would have. And then just tie it as a bow. The lady who makes these for people, this was an absolute ingenious idea. And I really liked it, so I made it for Barbie. And she was actually the most recent one I got that week, so I decided to make it for her. I was hoping it would look a little more like badass, a little less like homey couture. I still think she looks totally dope. I just don't think you would equate this to being badass. Anyways, that's about it. So that's it for the specific week that I remember. The last couple of days in August, which are actually in the September part. So the last couple of days, I made 2 more outfits. I made this one first. So I was thinking of, I don't remember what I was thinking. This goes along the lines of, I made this one dress and I'm like, this totally looks like something that someone would wear to that gala, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep making those. So much jewelry has fallen off that you haven't seen. Anyways, and this was definitely one of them. There's a lot of dresses that you see at the Met Gala and things like that are see-through and they have like a bodysuit underneath it, or just things that, or like embroidery that covers up the parts really well. So that was the obvious kind of intent with this, but I wanted to be a little bit more feminine. So I made this bodysuit first that has this reflective qualities to it. I wonder if you're going to be able to see that it's like pink and green and it just reflects colors. You're not seeing it as well as you would in real life, I will say that much. And I made it long sleeve. And then after I made the bodysuit, I went from there and I made a dress out of this mesh. And I sewed it together. When I was hemming the top, I sewed the top of the dress to the top of the bodysuit. And the bodysuit is supposed to be off the shoulder, so there we go. Anyways, so that was that idea. I wanted the bodysuit itself is a multicolor metallic reflective thing, which was the idea with her hair, because I'm not going to take her braids out. I mean, unless this like floof here gets worse, then I might take her braids out. But I was hoping not to, because I kind of like them as they are. So that's what inspired that. I wanted it to seem very like fantastical, magical, and I think it kind of pulled off all right. I don't know if you can tell. Wait, can you tell that these, let's see, that the stars actually have glitter on them? No, I don't think it's showing up very well. Okay, there we go, a little bit. Anyways, so the stars are actually glittered. And because I have no matching shoes, she is wearing some high-heeled Timberlands, boots. Which I think these are actually the ones that she came with. And I'm not mad at them, to be totally frank. Yeah. I haven't changed out her jewelry for the most part. I did keep her with the gold. I kind of did that with most of the dolls as well. Anyways, okay. So that was the last dress I made. And for the last official outfit that I made in August, it's literally like my favorite. I was originally gonna do like a velvet suit, and then I pulled out this beige tan satin I have, and I'm like, okay, let's fuck with this. So this is a 3-piece set. It started off with making her pants first. Actually, the pattern I used the pants from a pair of overalls. And I just used the pants for that. And I'm glad it makes it kind of high-waisted for her. I wanted it, I love it, to be honest. I'm kind of gushing over it. Then I did this high neck kind of halter top. I don't know how to describe this. And used this is made out of tulle, the top itself. Can you tell? Yeah. So it's made out of tulle. Obviously, some of my little thread stitching's not that great. But this is 4 layers of tulle to get it to seem transparent, but to not actually be fully transparent. So some of my tulle didn't work really well. One thing I did learn from this that I did not implement in another project I made that involved tulle was I should have basted the tulle together, then cut out the design. Because what I did was I cut out the pattern piece, and from there I tried to lay it all together and base it together to keep it together while I'm working with it. But the problem with that is after I cut it out, I could never get it to lay exactly right. It would always be like off a little bit, and that's partly how this here, can you see it? That's how this is not fully like down, because it was off, and like that's how it's not fully down here either. So that's kind of how that happened. Yep, I used buttons for that. It didn't match up very well here, but again, I just love this piece. Like, this is great. So then I went, oops, my leg's falling asleep, so I'm trying to like move it without having to move it. Anyways, so I had this cardigan pattern as well, and this is essentially straight up the cardigan as it is, like as the pattern is, minus I again didn't sew the side seams all the way down. I instead left a split. I don't know why, I like doing that. I was originally going to add a collar to it, make it very more masculine, but after I stitched it together as it was, I'm like, you know what, I kind of like it. Come on, here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my god, I wanted to start singing Let It Go. Let it go, let it go, not holding back anymore. I did not promise I was a singer. Anyways, yeah, and I'm taking some photos of her in this, and I always like kind of having it a little droopy off the shoulder so you can actually see the cutout of the shirt. But yeah, this is probably the proudest project that I made in the month of August. I really like it. Anyways, so that's the last piece that I officially remember making in August. Like, I had documented and was like, this is a project I made. There's a couple of other pieces that I made that I'm just like, oh, this was me practicing. So like, this is a skirt that I made off of a pattern, and like, this was me practicing. Like, I hadn't really used patterns before. So that was that. It's really floofy. I do like that fact. Obviously, I didn't finish it. It's still, there we go, it's still being held in by a pen. So I never finished it. But it's like proof of concept to me. This was, okay. This was a dress that I made as well. It was supposed to be kind of like pajamas, but if you can't tell, I kind of made the bottom unevenly. I made it far more of a boat neck than intended, and it kind of looked a little bit more than just a pajama dress. So I added some ribbons here to add some accent to it, but of course one of my ribbons is a little too loose up here. So I had a pin kind of holding it tight. So this one's looser, but now this one appears looser. Oh wait. Yeah, a pin holding it in. There you go. It's not my most, like, there's really nothing interesting about this, which is why I don't have it documented in my notebook. But I did make this in the month of August too. Okay. So we're gonna do things a little out of order. The very last thing I made in August was these pants. They're made out of a kind of terry cloth fabric that very much, if you feel them, let's see if you can see the texture, very much to me, where am I going? Very much looks like sweatpants basically. And that was the idea of them. They're a pastel pink, pastel blue, and white kind of sweatpant material. So that was the idea of them. When I made them, I was using a pattern that required elastic to put in the sweatband, in this waistband bit, but I had no elastic. So I sewed it in a particular way that I thought would provide stretch for the waistband, and it worked enough to get it on. But when I say it's, I'm showing this now, which I'll probably put at the very end because this was the very last thing that I made. But I'm filming it like halfway through because I made a different dress for her earlier in the month, and I swear to you not, I'm not sure if these pants are going to go back on. They were so rough to get them on to begin with. Yeah, I'm basically like pulling stitches while I'm essentially pulling stitches while I'm trying to pull them off. So, yeah, I am. Oh, will you focus? Will you? There you go. See, I'm literally pulling stitches there. This part was, oh, and I made a hole in them. Okay, well, they were a very good first attempt for me for sweatpants, to be honest. But see, like, it didn't stretch enough that I pulled it there. Let's see if I can show you. No, you can't really see it. Yeah, no. Anyways, that is okay. So, oh, here we go. Let's see if you can see it. Since I knew zigzag stitches were how you could sew down elastic, I tried, can you see it? I tried to make zigzag stitches with the white thread I had, which made this part actually stretch, but when I sewed it to the pant part, I didn't. I used a straight up just back stitch, and I think all the work I did to make it actually stretch went out the window. So again, this to me was a learning project, you know, that's basically what I learned from this, and I will do better next time. Okay. That's it. Aside from the one piece I didn't show you because it would be a spoiler if I actually finished my comic book, that is it for the month of August. Let's see if I can kind of put them all together here. All together now. If you don't know, that's a callback to I don't know what I was saying. And then you got, see, his pants just don't stay up. Anyways, okay. Yep. Okay, so these are all of the month of August. I'm going to turn the camera off because my foot is literally asleep and I need to move it. And this has been interesting. I hoped this inspired you a little bit, and hopefully I'm still going to make a video for the month of September, so I don't know yet. Bye. 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 Bye.